Hey, did you know that colic shows up in 1 out of every 4 newborns? And if you're a parent that's living through it, you've likely heard the classic advice that, just don't worry about it. They're going to grow out of it, right? But what if that well-meaning phrase is actually keeping your baby from getting the real help that they actually need? And that constant crying, the back arching, and restless nights are actually your baby's nervous system crying out for support. Here's the truth. Babies, they don't magically just grow out of anything, especially colic. And today we're going to be breaking down exactly why that matters. So this video really is for the parents who've tried everything from gas drops to probiotics to cutting foods, changing bottles, and still feel like their baby's stuck in a distress mode 24/7. What we'll unpack is the connection between birth trauma and the nervous system dysfunction in colic, and how addressing the root cause early can help your baby feel better now and stay healthier longer term. So let me tell you a little bit about a little baby named Raya. She struggled with the classic colic signs: lots of spit up, discomfort after feeding, restlessness and tension, and her mom was doing everything she could, but still something felt off. She felt like her baby was constantly, she used this word, constantly leaking all of the time, right? Which just isn't how a baby should be. They should be able to keep their food down. They should be able to function well and be gaining weight in appropriate ways, right? So let me tell you a little bit more about Raya and her situation. So after starting neurologically focused chiropractic care here at Renegade, the shift started happening. And what really stood out for mom was this. She said, "I knew it was making a difference when my kids started noticing that she was spitting up less too," which is huge, right? Because moms, they notice. You guys know, right? Hey, when my baby's doing something different, this is awesome. But when your kids that pay a lot less attention to your kids start noticing, that's huge. That's super impactful. And that's what mom noticed, and what she said her kids noticed about their littlest sibling. So it wasn't just mom noticing the change. The whole family saw the transformation. Raya was actually way more at ease. She was feeding better and finally finding that comfort that mom was hoping for. So colic isn't just about tummy trouble. It's a deeper sign of neurological stress, especially in babies who cry intensely or arch their backs or constantly seem tense. And this kind of stress often starts during pregnancy or birth, especially if there were interventions like a C-section or forceps or a vacuum delivery, or baby got stuck and was in there for a long time. So birth is a big deal for babies and mom, right? Physical stress during delivery actually creates tension in the neck and brainstem area, so up here. And this area is home to what we call the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is what's the boss of digestion and sleep, immune function, and emotional regulation. So when it's under stress or not functioning well, it throws everything off, and that's what leads to things like colic, poor sleep, reflux, digestive issues, and more. So babies who struggle with colic don't always grow out of it. They often trade it for other issues as they get older. So we're talking recurring ear infections, respiratory issues, sensory challenges, sleep struggles, gut problems, and trouble regulating emotions. And that's because the real issue, the nervous system stress, hasn't been addressed. So here's where we come in at Renegade Chiropractic. We use safe, non-invasive scans to get a clear picture of what's going on in your baby's nervous system. So I want to show you what those look like. Here on this side, we have something called heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is really awesome because it shows us the balance between the fight or flight side of the nervous system and the resting, healing, and digesting side of the nervous system. So over here we have fight or flight, and then the rest, digest, and most importantly, heal side of the nervous system. The white dot would be an indicator as to where this kiddo is living on this whole scale. And what we want to see, truthfully, is that this white dot is somewhere up higher in this whole scale of things, somewhere in this zone. The green zone is ideal. That means that baby and kiddo can shift in a well-balanced way from fight or flight when they get hit with some sort of stressor, and they can shift back into rest and digest when they adapt to that stressor and start making changes. So this kiddo in particular that was dealing with some colic and stress and spitting up all the things that come with that scenario was actually in an okay place to start off when it came to heart rate variability. That's what we want, right? Because that tells us that change and adaptation is going to come relatively quickly and easily for a baby like this. And this scan over here, this scan is what we call a neurothermal scan. And what it does is it essentially tells us where the stress is stuck on the nervous system. And when I see a scan like this, where we have stress that's stuck right up there at the top from side to side, that's a pretty typical presentation for a colicky, refluxy, silent refluxy baby. And so when I see a scan like this, it makes total sense that this kiddo's dealing with something and could be suffering from all the results of colic, right? Sleep issues, reflux issues, just not being happy, like being emotionally dysregulated. That is totally associated with the scans like this. And this is what we do for every kiddo and baby that comes into the office. These 2 scans, super huge. We also do a different scan called a neuromuscular scan that we do on older adults and kids, and we'll talk about that in another video. So we use these scans along with a detailed history to figure out where's your baby coming from, where are they at, what are these scans telling us, so then we know how much care to plan for, how we're going to adjust your baby, where we're going to adjust, all these sorts of things to really help create change and adaptation for your baby's nervous system. So here's the good news. With specific neurologically focused chiropractic care, babies like Rhea can finally find relief, and so can their exhausted parents. So if you've been told to just wait it out, but your gut says there has to be more, then trust that instinct. We trust mom's guts here. We'd love to show you a different path, one that really helps your baby feel better, sleep better, and actually thrive. So what you can do is you can click the link in our bio or drop a comment below with the word Colic help, and we'll reach out to you to get you scheduled for your neurological insight scan. Your baby's nervous system, it really holds the key to their comfort and development. So let's help them unlock it.